Howdy, folks. Dr. Freedom here with you. Time some Doctor News from in and around the universe that may or may not affect you on a weird psychological, mycological, hycological, and hypothetical level that could possibly expand your consciousness to the point that you'll achieve an internal peace, be one with the universe, and at the same time be able to, well, I'm not going to describe it. It's just total weirdness of the soul. Now, a lot of folks were going on and on, of course, this week because allegedly Catherine Tate was spotted on set in Liverpool. The problem is this. All you folks who have been watching Twitter over this past week have seen hundreds of photos, dozens of clips of them, factually filming scenes. Don't worry, nothing spoilery is because you can't really hear the dialogue anyway. And also it's just mainly going in and out of the TARDIS and stuff like that. But not one of all these photos and video clips do you see a picture of Catherine Tate, let alone Catherine Tate as Donna Noble in front of the camera with the cast. Now, a lot of people I was going on about this with, on Facebook, and I didn't want to sound mean, so I'm just trying to present my side of the argument, I guess. But what happened was, they're like, well, maybe it's a top secret return, blah, blah. All her stuff's being filmed internally, just like they did with John Barrowman. Well, we didn't know anything about John Barrowman. No, we knew John Barrowman was in Cardiff, but he went there and he claimed he was there under the guise that he was doing some repair work on his flat there, or on his place there. And so, John Barrowman being John Barrowman, we all bought it. And it turns out, no, all his stuff was being filmed inside the Clifton Cathedral there in Bristol. And that's why you didn't see him. Because while they were doing the Daleks over on the bridge, I think they were doing those scenes with him, Graham, and the others at the cathedral. So maybe a little bit of misdirection there, on their part. But the problem is, if Catherine Tate is in Series 13, then they're trying to keep it secret, right? And this is the story that they're going with. And I hate to break your, I don't like to bust people's bubbles. I don't like to kill your hopes. But the problem is this. If she was filming for Series 13, why would they invite her to a set where she's not even involved in the filming? You see what I mean? That would just that'd be almost as bad as when, they screwed the pooch on the Masters appearance at the end of Capaldi's last season by putting him at the end of the first series trailer. You see what I mean? And I think what was going on here. Let's get into it. Okay, let me show you what we got here. All right, here we go. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Oh, it happens every now and then. I pressed the wrong button and the universe goes, okay. All right, here we go. All right, Catherine Tate addresses Doctor Who Series 13 appearance claims. Now, this is straight from Catherine Tate's spokesperson. Her spokesperson has shot down the reports of Tate filming Doctor Who, telling the Radio Times, quote, I can confirm Catherine is very much not in Liverpool and is not on the Doctor Who set. Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, well, no, they're just sweeping it over. But as I said before, if she's filming for Doctor Who this year, why would they have her show up on a filming set where she's not actively involved in it? I think what we've got here is a classic case of someone who probably very much looked like Catherine Tate, and, people assumed it was her. Just like, let me remind you of what little thing that happened all the way back in 2018. Remember this one? Doctor Who set pics may have confirmed the return of our old pal K9. And this was during the filming in Gosport. And, oh, looky, here's K9. No, it isn't. I showed you why in a video around that time. This is not the actual studio filming prop for K9. This was one that a fan had created. And, they brought K9 with them, because, they were hoping to get pictures and all that with Jodie Whittaker and all that. So, no, K9 did not return, as we all know. But you see how it begins? Wait, K9 spotted on location. Somebody, and then we had like a dozen people claiming they saw Catherine Tate. The problem is, I think we're dealing with a lookalike situation here. And even if Catherine Tate did show up that night, Catherine Tate and John Bishop have been friends for years. Now we know Catherine Tate is in town in London, not in Liverpool, but in London, because she's filming a new series. But, you know, it could have been a simple case of, even if she did show, John Bishop said, look, I'm going to be filming Doctor Who. Why don't you come down and stop by the set? Boom. Sorry, I hate to cut people's heads off with Occam's razor, but sometimes the simplest explanation is the best. And if the spokesperson's saying she wasn't there, I got to say, look, she wasn't there. Also, why is it if Catherine Tate was there? And like I said, if you don't believe me, go scan Twitter. Just do hashtag DWSR, hashtag Doctor Who, and look back over the tweets for like the last week. Dozens of people there with their cameras, phones, and all that. Yet not one image of Catherine Tate being there winds up getting put up anywhere. Unless it was on one of those top secret Instagram things somebody keeps, you know, to hide their photos because, oh, look, I'm cooler than all of you and yada, yada, yada. But nobody has produced a single bit of footage showing her there. If I'd seen that, I'd get excited. If I saw her with the group, you know, with the crew filming, I'd be touching myself that night. But no, it didn't happen. So I think this is what we got going on. A bunch of people claimed to have saw Catherine Tate, and it probably wasn't even her. Someone who looked very much like her, and boom, you know, Bob's your uncle. There you go. We got another K9 Gosport situation. All right, John Bishop transforms into character as he joins giggling co-star Mandip Gill to film Doctor Liverpool after the comedian, of course, has joined the cast for Series 13. You'll notice on this shoot, they're all in period garb. You know, him looking like he looks rather dashing in a flat cap. And that video clip keeps trying to pop up on me. You know, look at that. You know, nice stuff there. And look at, you know, Yasmin there in the period gear, looking mighty cool. Check out the boots. Wow, that must have been a pain in the ass to get those strung up and put on me. I mean, but I love the outfit. It's, you know, very, very, you know, nice, you know, for that period. And I can't remember, somebody claimed they identified this person. And like I said, I lost the notes. I'm very sorry. But here you go. If you want to check all these out, all these articles and such will be linked for you below in the description box as usual. All right. Jodie Whittaker, and, you know, and like I said, this is Fan Speculate. And once again, when you scroll down to here a little bit, Catherine Tate being spotted is making complete sense of my yada. And then if you keep going further down a little bit, Catherine Tate is in the film, a new series for Channel 4. And it's supposed to say she's in London. She's not in Liverpool, as far as I know. So she isn't filming Doctor Who, somebody said. Oh, yeah, here's the Speedo guy. He was doing a charity, like, marathon run. And he just happened to come across it. Look, there's Jodie's reaction. Ain't that scary how that kind of lines up with the picture? That's frightening right there. Internet savvy. So kind of a little funny thing. And also, once again, you know, look at it. A lot of nice shots. I love this shot because look at this. After all that's been going on, she's still smiling. She's still laughing, and she's still enjoying herself, man. Okay, some more stuff here with John Bishop filming at the Museum of Liverpool, London. And he's here with Nadia Albino, I want to say, who I believe they're referring to her as a disabled actress because her one arm, I believe she's an amputee, if memory serves. And, you know, it's just basically, it was him and her shooting a scene here on the stairs. Why is that guy looking at this creature's butt so funny? Or is that the front? I don't want to know either way. Okay, but here's some, you know, video footage that they've linked over from Twitter. All right, now I got to warn you now, we might have a possible spoiler coming up here in a little bit. So you may want to tune out if you want to go into this season completely spoiler free. I'm warning you now. Last chance to turn around and exit. Because if you keep going right down, all right, I'm not even on the right article. But it's coming up, okay? I believe it's the next one, my cult box, all right? Sorry, I thought it was this one. Okay, so scroll up, and there it is. There's the money shot. This dude was also there filming. And apparently, look at this rather imposing. Just judging by this photo here, the facial features, like I said, but I'm judging by a photo. Kind of reminds me of my Predator mask up there. You know, it's kind of like, you know, it's definitely a mask, black outfit, gloves, Well, check out the piping on the outfit. A lot of people have been suggesting this might be the Shadow. And the Shadow, not, the Shadow knows that, no, it's not, what's his name? Alec Baldwin. No, it's the Shadow was a lackey for the Black Guardian back in the day. He only showed up in one episode. He got his butt smited. And that was in the very last episode of the Key to Time series, which was the Omega Factor. The Armageddon Factor. Sorry, I've got my TV show confused with a title. So it was the Armageddon Factor, and that's the only place the Shadow showed up. So I highly doubt it's the Shadow. Plus, the Shadow got his butt kicked by the Doctor and all that, and he got vaporized and stuff like that. So no, I highly doubt it's the Shadow. So once again, all this stuff linked for you here right on Cult Box, which you'll get a link for at the bottom. Now, of course, once again, Doctor Who cast spotted filming outside the Liverpool Metropolitan Cathedral. And I check out that building. Isn't that a rather peculiar structure? That cathedral. That's pretty cool looking. It has a sci-fi look to it, don't it? But I guess it's an actual cathedral. Hey, and here we go. Around the World in 80 Days, starring David Tennant, finishes filming. The series will air on BBC One later this year. Of course, he's playing the lead character, Phileas Fogg. You see, whenever I read Phileas Fogg, all you old people, anyone here remember a TV show called Voyagers? And it was about a time traveling duo, this guy and this kid. The guy was played by John Eric Hexum, who we lost way too soon, by the way. Look up that name, you know what I'm talking about, because what happened to him was very similar to what happened to Brandon Lee way later down the line. But Voyagers, he played a character, I believe, called Phineas Bogg. And that's why when I read Phileas Fogg, I keep thinking Phineas Bogg. All right. Now, here's another one where a lot of people said, I keep telling you, don't trust the Mirror unless the article's by Nicola Methven. Because look at this. Bonnie Langford to film a forgotten Doctor Who episode from 35 years ago. Fans will be delighted to hear the show, titled The Lost Story of Mind of the Hodiak, could air as early as next year. Bonnie, 56, can't contain her excitement about the project. And it goes on and on and on, blah, blah, blah. But fans will be delighted to hear the show could air as early as next year. It's not going to air anywhere, period. Mind of the Hodiak, for you folks who haven't been keeping up, was a script that Russell T Davies wrote for Doctor Who back in like the 1980s. It was the very first thing he ever sat down and wrote for Doctor Who, back when he was way younger. And it was called Mind of the Hodiak. And now Big Finish is putting it out. It's going to be available for sale on audio. You see, this is where things get screwed up. This is where the Mirror, like I said, has its unreliability factor. Once again, if the article is not written by Nicola Methven, or, and there's very few others I'll believe, I'm sorry, Janine, but you screwed the pooch. You blew it. You completely slipped on the banana and went right off into the Twilight Zone. Sorry, this is not a television episode. It's for Big Finish. All right. Okay. So once again, folks, and I'm about to start sneezing, so I better end this. It's more than likely Catherine Tate's not coming back. And like I said, I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying this to be evil. I love the character of Donna Noble, but her journey began, had a very good, fruitful time, and it's over. Unless they were going to, she did say she'd be more than welcome to, she'd love to return to Doctor Who, is what I'm trying to say. But it would have to be an exceptional script. And of course, all the haters are saying, well, Chris Chibnall can't write that. Well, you'd think after Spyfall and all that, they'd be laughing out the other side of their faces. Then again, some of them are so two-faced, they wouldn't know where the other side is. But as stated before, I think it's just another Canine and Gosport situation. Somebody showed up, probably looked very, very similar to Catherine Tate, because as I said, if Catherine Tate had been there, actually been there, you'd have had photos all over Twitter from here to the Yucatan. I'm not kidding. It'd be from here out to Alpha Centauri, all over media, actual images of her being there. And also, if she was actually filming Doctor Who, there, like I said, there were dozens and dozens of clips filmed by dozens and dozens of people of the filming taking place, and she didn't appear in one scene with the other actors. And if it was a top secret deal, why would she be there on set if they're trying to keep her secret? Especially for a series of scenes she apparently had no part in. And I say, I hate to toot my own horn. I hate to sound evil. But as I said, sometimes Occam's razor can really cut things off. And we won't discuss what. Good night, folks. Take care. Have a good one. See you on the flip side. Freedom out, kiddies.